Welcome everyone to another Jazz Matters podcast, and today's guest is Mr. Ojeda Penn, pianist, composer, songwriter, just about everything, jazz aficionado. He is the man. We also have here Mr. Vaughn Coulter from Jazz Beats Radio, and we're going to go ahead and get this thing started. Ojeda, it's been a long time, my brother. How's things going?
Well, things are going fine. As we speak, I'm getting another piano moved in downstairs.
Uh-oh.
And that has me preoccupied. But I'm loving it because it's a Baldwin 6-3 Model L, big concert sound. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, okay. So with your other piano, are you just gonna push it off to the side or just put it in your studio?
No, I'm pushing it upstairs in the great room.
Oh, okay.
Now. Yeah, until I can sell it.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Anyway, Ojeda, glad to have you here. Before we start, I want to let everybody know that to go to the website for Jazz Matters, which is yesjazzmatters.org, and go on the page, click on the donate. I said donut, but donate. Donate page, because we are 501c3 and our lifeline is donations. Also go there and go to the Jazz Matters store where we have apparel like sweatshirts, hoodies, t-shirts, cups, hot sauce, anything you want on Jazz Matters. We got our own hot sauce, folks. So yes, right. Jazz Matters is the website, and you can learn all about Jazz Matters, what we're doing, and also learn about me, myself, Edwin Williams, who is the founder of Jazz Matters. You want to go ahead and dive right into Ojeda, because I know you said you just got some things going on over there. So I know we're limited on time if you got some things. I know you're anxious to get down there to it. But the thing is,
yeah, that's right.
I can almost feel it coming through the set.
Right.
That's right. I can feel that anticipation.
That piano sounds better out of tune than my piano sounds in tune that I had down there.
Okay.
Big sound, man. Big sound.
Okay. Well, Ojeda, let everybody know where you're from, how you got started in the music, and why did you stay with it and be a professional artist with it?
Well, let me say this. I've been around music all my life. Of course, I was in the high school band in the 4th grade playing clarinet, and my mother. You know what? My mother got me in the band. I didn't ask to be in the band, right? But I've always noticed that I had a sensitivity to music that I noticed others didn't have. Like I've always been bothered when if someone tried to sing a song that's not in the key it was recorded in, I would look around to see if anybody else was bothered by it. I was bothered by it because I like the original key. And so, but to make a long story short, as short as I can, I didn't start playing piano. Well, I took lessons for 2 years. 7th grade, 8th grade, I got up to Beethoven's Minuet in G. That's as far as I got. So when I finished high school, but in fact, the last week of high school, I've been listening to Earl Bostic as Duke Ellington's orchestra on Sundays at my house with sister now. But I didn't really pursue jazz until I heard Jimmy Smith playing the sermon. The last week of high school. I heard that, I was hooked. It was like a shot of heroin, So I went out and bought the album. I bought 2 more albums that summer. I went to Howard University, and by then I was hooked. I said, I got to play. And I said, I got to play because I can hear it. And by the way, before I forget it, I didn't choose music. I've come to the conclusion it chose me. And that's why when I got to Howard, I was searching for the 3 sound of that Gene Harrison piano, that block chord sound. I was searching all around for it and couldn't find it. So one morning, my last semester at Howard, which I didn't finish, I was going to the dorm to go to class at 8 o'clock. And I heard the sound coming from the lounge. It was sounding just like Gene Harrison, Tony Flanagan, those guys. Class was to the left, I went to the right. That's right. And it didn't leave, that was at 8:30. Didn't leave the lounge until 2 o'clock. A guy named Thomas Wade was playing, and I looked over his shoulder, and I said, oh, that's what he's doing. He got up after about an hour. I stayed there. I didn't even go to lunch. I stayed there the whole. I started transposing that day because I knew if I went up to the next note, I could play the same thing. And, I knew that much about it. So, but I didn't play any piano in high school. So anyway, I got hooked. So I then determined that I was going to play jazz music. I used to hear Gene Harris play, and I would hear it, and I would say, "That's me." The sound, the sophistication, and I went from there. I went back to Alabama State, and I'm still playing the game. My mother had socialized me to play. I'm gonna be a doctor, right? Man, I'm not a doctor, not at all. Never was. So I was taking comparative anatomy and made a D in it. The first D I made in my whole life, right? And I said, okay, that's it. So I decided to major in English, which I've always been very good at English. High school. So I said, because I already know music, English, I won't have to study as quite as hard as the average student. I had a course called Advanced Grammar, and I ain't buy a book because I already knew it from excellent teacher. Anyway, so therefore I had time to major in English and practice music. The reason why I didn't major in music was because I knew what I wanted to play, and I knew they weren't teaching that curriculum. I had music students who were music majors who hear me playing in the lounge and would ask me about the chords I was playing. They didn't know what an E7, minor 9, they didn't know none of that stuff, and that just reconfirmed my decision not to play, major in music, along with the fact that it would require more study time. So plus, they weren't teaching what I wanted to play. So anyway, I left Alabama State and came to make a decision. Go to Henry County, which is, of course, south of here. I taught there for a year. But my goal was to get to Atlanta so I could get that jazz sound, the sophistication wasn't in Montgomery, Alabama. Well, plus I was not going to stay in Montgomery. I had already been to Howard, so that was not big enough. I started playing then, and my first job was at 11th Spring over on the Chopper Bars. The name of the street is on. But anyway, I played a solo gig that I was scared as hell to. I could by myself, And I I would go to work, come back home from school, and all man telling me this guy had me, the principal of the school where I worked in Henry County, had me working in a store in the school, which was not really. I would get the money from the students for the candy bars. I would walk away every day with about $2 or $3 in my pocket, right? I was supposed to have, but I did it anyway. And I would go up on Hunter Street then, buy albums almost every day. And I kept every day, like I do now every day. And so, again, what can I say? I kept practicing. And by the way, I'm not all that in the introduction. I don't look at myself as. I don't read my own press. I don't, time to play. And I've noticed that the guys who really can play never claim they can play. When you try to throw it on them, they say, "No, man, I'm still learning to play this instrument." I found that to be very being good. Like Stephon Curry, the guy was talking ish to him right on the floor the other night. Steph didn't say anything. Fourth quarter, he went out and scored 21 points. The great guys like Michael Jordan, when you talk stuff to them, you're giving them energy. And they go, "Oh, you think I can't?" Okay, so I try to be very humble because I don't. But I tell you what, though, I do see this though. I came to this conclusion: nobody can beat me playing what I feel. Nobody. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. It's not. I don't pretend to be able to outplay anybody or outplay more piano than McCoy or Herbie. But guess what? They can't beat me playing what I feel. And that's how I look at it. And I've played around Atlanta a lot in the clubs, and I miss playing in the clubs actually. Although right now I don't want to play in the club, unless I'm in charge, and I can play enough dudes.
Right. I think we were losing you back and forth in your audio, and I don't know if it's if it's some RF signal issue, it's what it is.
Let me make sure it's turned up. Turned up as high as it'll go.
No, I mean, there were just certain patterns, like when you were talking like long sentences, some of the sentences would drop, some of it would drop out, you know.
Okay, I'll make them shorter.
Oh, okay then. Well, anyway, you spoke about your time up there at Howard. Now, they didn't really have did they have the jazz program when you were there?
No, not at all. No.
Right. What was the well, when did it? Do you have any idea when they actually got one? Because I know they have one now, but you know.
No, I really don't. I really don't know that. You got me on that one. I don't know. I don't know what as do they have at Howard University. I really.
Oh, okay. Because
I was going to say, I heard the story that even when Donnie Hathaway was there, and Leroy, trying to think of his name, Leroy Hudson and Roberta Flack, they didn't have a jazz program when they were there.
Oh.
Yeah, I heard that Donnie was the one that really, implemented the program.
And it wasn't until Donald Byrd got there, and that's when they initiated their jazz program.
But all in all, in Atlanta here, we all know you as Ojeda the artist, you know. And the thing is, I wanted to find out, or at least you let us know, what do you consider your style of playing, or your style of or preference of music? Is it more of a music of what's going on in the world today, or is it just for the love of music itself?
Well, you know, I have recorded recently in my own studio a lot of material that's not really quote traditional jazz. And what I try and keep in mind is that, you know, it's much more important. The quality of the music is much more important than what you call it. Try and keep in mind the fact that jazz, as a word, as a name for the music, came from the music companies a long time ago, back in the 20s, needing a name to sell it. If you want to sell something in the market, you got to call it something. So they called it jazz. Now, the early jazz, meaning back in back in the 20s, they were dancing to it. You know, the 20s and 30s, even in the 40s, they were dancing to the music. So, but now guys like me don't want to play dance music, right? So, but I think that it's more important to talk about the quality of the music. Oh, however, I don't want to go in a club and see somebody playing rhythm and blues and calling it jazz. You dig? That's not fair to the great players, you know.
But that's
right.
And I think a hallmark of jazz is, are they soloing? You see, are they solo over changes, or playing a style of music called free jazz, which is not restricted, for it, you know, Arnett Coleman. But you that's very important to me. I think I see now that's what's happening. Too many people calling music jazz. It's not really jazz. Meaning you don't hear people taking solos, you know, on the instruments. And in other words, that's not a mainstay of their presentation.
Yeah. Can you say that again, because you dropped out?
Okay, I was saying that I personally don't like it when people call something jazz, a style of music jazz, and I don't hear anyone taking solos. You know, that to me is the heart of the music. The jazz quote, like classical, what they call classical jazz solos. And by the way, I'm not a reactionary. Like, you know, Louis Armstrong told people that I don't know if he told Charlie Parker, but he told some people. He told Charlie Parker was playing Chinese music. You know, that's why it's very dangerous to one era against another. You know, the music evolves like life, and so you know. But at the same time, we have to have some standards by which we call something jazz. You know, again, like I said, more importantly is the quality of the music. rather than what you.
Now saying that, what do you think about the quality of the stuff that especially the younger musicians are doing now, that both you and I agree it is basically instrumental rhythm and blues? And I think, and what do you think about the quality of what they're doing now in that field and getting away with the jazz turn? Or is it even like you did kind of answer my question when you said it's more about the quality of music, the quality of what they're doing, versus, like you said, you don't see them or hear them playing solos. And realistically, they tend to solo over a vamp where you're not moving through changes, And
all right, that's fine. Oh, that's fine too, because Train did the same thing, but he also soloed over changes,
Right, but see, I think Train's situation was he knew that. His accompanying musicians were playing the changes, right? But he was playing in a modal situation,
right,
where he's able to, embellish a lot of things that would have been basically hidden in the changes. But he understood the modal concept of playing. So knowing how to play in a major mode or a minor mode. Yeah, and so the solo is broad. I think the solos are really, really good. It's you can play modal all the way through, but it seems that I think he picked up on this drone or this pedal tone type of thing, where
Edwin.
Hello?
Oh, Edwin.
Yeah,
Edwin. You can play modal all the way through if you're McCoy Tyner.
Okay, but you got a point there too.
What I mean?
Yeah, you can do that.
McCoy gets away with it.
But
gets away with it. That's his style, let's just say.
Right.
That's the style. Yeah.
Yeah, but see, like you said, when you go out and hear the musicians now, you don't hear anything that resembles that.
And also, too, you know what? Excuse me, but Train and McCoy paid the dues, to play like that. They've shown you they can play over changes, So look like Miles. People criticize Miles for playing funk. Man, Miles has played some of the greatest music in the world. He's entitled to play what he wants to play,
Exactly.
Right.
And see, the thing is, if they were complaining about him playing funk, they weren't really listening that well, because
thank you.
They weren't really listening that well, because that was not what, huh? That was not what. Go ahead.
You're right. That's you're right. The quality, what he was doing. How about the quality of it? And plus, since he's played all the jazz you want to hear in terms of changes, he's showing you can play. Why are you bothering him about playing a particular style of jazz? Or traditional jazz?
Right, and see, the thing is, I think what a lot of people get missed. I think what it really is that some musicians that don't take the foundations of the music seriously enough don't want to tread into those areas where they don't understand what's going on. So therefore, they're content with playing, a rhythm and blues type or blues type solos, and instead of the jazz, the way a standard jazz player would play a solo is totally different. Actually, it's not a whole lot different than the way a classical player would play a piece. Because he has moods and he has these movements within the solo itself. Where the younger guys that are playing now don't have anything. It's straight. It's just as straight as narrow, and they don't get off of that Dorian concept. Let's say it like that. All right.
Right. Right.
And but that's cool because it worked for James Brown. You know what I mean?
Yep. It did.
Worked for James.
But see, right. But again, I tell you what, I've been studying quote lately. It was in the last year. About kinds of licks and all, and I guess you heard last time we played together. You heard me trying to work on that, right?
Okay.
This tune called Blues for Danny. Yeah, because there's something about. I'm gonna tell you, I know what the old guys mean now when they say if it ain't got that swing, it don't mean a thing.
Yeah.
I used to take that as a reactionary, sort of negative, but now I understand it because I can swing a little bit better than I ever could. And there's something about swinging with a song going like tempo. And it's something like the energy there that I get from that, I don't get that energy, the intensity of the energy from any other style. Funk, I love funk, I love it, but man, the intensity and energy that comes from swinging, it's to me, you can't match it with any. I can't with any others.
Right. And,
So
yeah, and that's one thing that, I kind of even miss around town is that you don't get a chance to hear that anymore.
right,
I mean, what about 10 years ago, you still had remnants of it, right? But
right.
but you don't even get to hear that anymore, period. I think, and then when I know this, when I talk to young musicians today, they they hear that what I'm saying, but they don't really understand how to swing. They don't really know how to swing. You know, they'll take that one concept and apply it to every song that they think is a swing, that should swing. And that concept is basically, I would call it, it's a more of a blues concept, and they swing on that kind of thing, and they move that way.
Yeah, but you know what? I think I know one issue is dudes. Dudes,
Yeah,
to play the kind of music we're talking about playing, man, you got to play some dudes.
yeah,
You know, and the environment now, you don't have to play those kinds of dudes. See, and that music is not heard as much. That language, shall we say, is not heard as much. So there's no pressure socially on them to play that kind of music. So they get over with, just like you say, playing over a modal or whatever. Very simple. Uh, uh, it, when I was coming up, in order for you to be a jazz musician, you had to study. There was no getting away with light stuff. So now that's not true anymore.
right, right. It seems like right now just like the technology has moved in a
Right.
certain
That's
way,
right. That's right. That's
the
right.
concept of music is kind of like, well, with younger musicians have taken off in that same
Right.
direction. You
Right.
know,
Right. Right.
it's almost like it's here, but you don't know how it got there. you know,
Right. Right.
you know. What I mean? But that's funny. But Vaughn, you want to add anything to this?
I was going to ask Ojeda in terms of, because I know there's different styles and different rules of thought when it comes down to what jazz isn't and what it is. The criticisms, have they changed much over time? Because you have your purist and you have those that want to expand the boundaries. Are the purists still looking at it because they don't understand? I mean, do they? Because they have a way of looking at certain changes that they're just not accustomed to, and they get locked into this one way of looking at things. Miles changed all that,
Right.
and he was wrought with a lot of criticism for what he was doing. But has it changed much since then?
Um, you know, I really am not in a position to totally answer that question, but I can say this though,
Mm-hmm.
that I know that from trying to swing and play over changes, it's easier to do. It's harder to play over changes, or just blues changes, swinging like that, and then it is to play over one change and play a blues line or blues feeling. I'm saying that I don't think the young guys are willing to work as much. Also, too, I think we must look at hip hop. Now, first of all, I like hip hop. Don't get me wrong, but I do think though
Mm-hmm.
that it has lowered the standards of what a musician is. For an example, to me, I know rappers employ the same rhythms and but that musicians employ. I'm
Right.
biased. If you don't play an instrument, I'm reluctant to call you a musician. Damn. Sorry, because for me it means you play an instrument. And I'm not talking about your voice either, because we talk all the time. I don't walk around playing piano all the time, right? So you're practicing using that voice all the time. So it's not the same, I don't think. Like I said, I'm biased. That training your voice is equivalent of training yourself to play an instrument. Now,
Right.
maybe somebody can argue that, but I think it requires an instrument to do. That instrument is separate from your body, and to get that instrument to do what you want to do when you want to do it, as if it is your leg. You don't think about putting one leg before the other. You just get up and do it. On an instrument, that's a different situation.
Yeah.
It should not be equated. Should not be equated with rhyming and rapping. I'm sorry. I really like some rap. Don't get me wrong. I like the trap music, sex and all that. Like
Hmm.
rap. But now, let me clarify. I don't have any rap albums. I don't want to clarify when I say I like it. no. I'm just being real. You know, like I don't buy it. When I hear it, I hear it. My son is always teaching me about it, and I appreciate I can stay intelligent about it, not be a reactionary. Oh, because you know what? We must admit, music is not taught in the schools anymore.
Oh no,
Secondary
oh,
education.
it's not.
See,
Yeah.
so that's all they hear a beat. I mean, a beat is relatively speaking here to come up with, and it is to study music, chord changes, and harmonies, and all that. So I
Hmm.
think that has something to do with it. There, you know what? Also, too, the what's the word? The situations in our cities has planned so much urban areas until, along with taking music out of the schools, so they're not getting a chance to hear music that we play. Of course, not at the same time. There's a contradiction. Many of the rappers heard the music of their parents. That's why they have sampling, right? James Brown,
Hmm.
he's the most
Hmm.
sampled musician on the planet. But
Yeah.
they didn't spend that. But see, they didn't spend that time listening to Miles Davis and John Coltrane. They were listening to the more accessible music of Temptations or James Brown.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, that's
Oh, and
true. That's true.
also, also too, you can dance to it. You can dance to it. Yes,
Exactly.
not today. You could a long time ago. Dance was created for that music.
Yeah, man. That's funny when you said mentioned about dancing to the music, and I kind of went straight to I seen some kids at a rap concert,
Uh-huh.
and they were dancing. Well, at least somebody told me they were dancing. I thought that I thought that they had electrocuted the floor or something. And,
I
and,
thought you. I thought you would say you thought they were working out.
they were working.
Today's dance.
There wasn't no rhythm to it whatsoever. You know what I'm saying?
Man. Oh, please, I'm glad you brought it up. Look, man, I believe in dancing to the beat. I'm sorry. And and you know what? Obviously, performers like Beyonce and them, right? They believe in the same thing. All those dancers behind them, they're doing to the beat. But these other instances where people are not dancing to the beat, I'm gonna tell you how I take it. I take it as an assault upon the rhythmic aesthetic of black culture. Let me tell you why. I know it's Bill Cosby show when they had white kids on there dancing with black kids. The black kids were dancing down. I said, wait a minute now. Y'all, why don't y'all go in and dance like you normally dance? They're dancing like they are not sensitive or care about the rhythm. I think it was not to show up white kids. I'm sorry. That's what I really think. And I see now today, not really. A lot of these commercials, they got one where the woman is dancing, and they're not dancing to the rhythm. And that's you don't need the rhythm if you're not going to dance to it. I don't like
Hmm.
that because that's an assault on the aesthetic of you dance to the beat. You move your body to the beat. You can contradict it if you want to, but indeed still you're dancing to the beat. Contradiction is in relation to like when I play, and you play with me, Elwin. I take that rhythm out, right?
Right, right,
And but I'm still thinking one. I'm still
yeah,
still on one.
right. And see that, but that doesn't necessarily apply to rap. As
Nope.
far as where the one is,
Yeah, I understand.
and they
When I hold on, I would argue with this though. The guys who can rap, one is there. You can hear, you can follow him. I mean, Tupac, any of them. There's a beat there, I mean, not all of them, but the best rappers, I think the beat is there.
Yeah, but the best rappers pull from rhythm and blues, which yeah, you can find that. I mean, you can hear it. You know, the rhythms that they use, like Tupac and all those are rhythm and blues rhythms behind it. You know, he was just rapping on top of that. You know,
Right.
and even with some of the but with some of the newer stuff like the trap
Okay.
situation, if you can find one all the way through the song, you're pretty good.
Okay. Now I must admit, I haven't listened to enough to say no more than that about it. But yeah, I can see what you're saying.
And yeah, because you know the reason. Yeah, that's the reason why. You know, that's the reason why. Okay, what are you working on now, music wise?
Well, I'm working on this song. I haven't given it a name yet, but it has a McCoy-Tyner kind of sound to it. In fact, it has a very much a McCoy-Tyner kind. I'm working on playing octaves. In other words, let's say my right hand, I'm playing working with melodies in fourths. For an example, I'm playing C, F, G, C again. Those kind of wide open spaces, you know, along with the close modal stuff. I'm trying to get a new sound. Still working on McCoy-Tyner. I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
But a year ago, I found out that McCoy-Tyner solos were transcribed, and I'm sure others have had that solos transcribed. And I was talking to Joe Jennings, and he was saying that he made the point that you can play those notes, transcribed notes, but guess what? It won't sound like McCoy-Tyner.
Exactly.
Or anybody
Exactly.
else.
Right.
And you know why?
I
You know
know.
why? I think the reason is, guess what? Each moment in your life is
It's unique.
never
Yeah.
lived again like that. So McCoy-Tyner, when he plays that moment, he captures.
It's gone.
You can't. It's gone. It's gone. Exactly.
It's gone. Gone.
Exactly. And it goes for any style, any particular performance. That moment.
That I was gonna say that goes in any art form. Once it's done, it's done.
That's right.
You cannot repeat that. You know, that's the reason why I have a problem with there's a controversial subject about the way the recording industry is treating R&B singers. You know, they're not letting them sing R&B any, at this point in time. Some people like Stephanie Mills and
you're missing it. You're missing it. I said who?
Yeah.
R&B singers? Oh, they're still
R&B
around?
singers.
No,
They're still around.
I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
we don't hear them as often. Or I'll put it this way: what is currently R&B doesn't even come close to what that was back in the late '80s. That's when it kind of stopped,
Look, in fact,
But
what are you saying? Go on.
and the recording industry is giving it to the Adeles and the Justin Timberlakes and some of these other white artists, to sing. And I know the reason why. Because the thing about it is, I think it was they made that change where they didn't want that emotionalism in the song anymore. The recording industry is like, we just want you to sing it. We don't need all that emotionalism, which is soul. And soul comes from us. Soul comes from us. Let's make it plain. Okay?
Oh no,
and
right.
what I want to say this. I want to say this before I lose my train of thought. Is that, what we bring to the table is often imitated and never duplicated. What you're missing out is, that's who we are. And we have done great things with this art form. And now you want to remove it from us?
Back to
I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
Right. Well, you know what? It makes this sense. They, and by they I mean other people, including our European-derived brothers and sisters. They can't create that soul. Do you know the best European classical tenors are from Italy? You know that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Best one. Now, why is that? You ever thought about that? Where is Italy?
It's in the Mediterranean, and it's right above Africa.
There you go, some Southern Europe. And by the way,
Yep.
they call the Sicilians both niggers and Africans. They do.
Exactly.
They're Italian
Exactly.
people. And I mean, so my point though is that I have to think that they're being the best European classical singers, tenors, coming from Italy, not England, not Germany, not Switzerland, not is because of the influence of the African continent. Now I don't know I don't know enough about the genetics, if it's stolen or not. Certainly, I think is relevant. It's not accidental. I mean, you can name one great tenor from England or Ireland. Something, something about that African voice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely it is definitely basically an African root there or genetic let's say
Yeah,
that
yeah,
genetic link to that because think about it, people that are not European, a lot of them, like we were talking the other day, Vaughn, about yeah, I've heard some Filipinos singing, and they sound like as if they were African American
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah.
singing
Hmm.
African. So, well, and we were looking at well, you know, when you look at that, they have melanin in them. I have more melanin in them than the European
Right.
anyway. So it seems
Right.
Oh
those
Exactly.
yeah.
with more melanin in their system seem to have that ability if it's ever exposed, you know, by them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
And look, let me say this. I got to editorialize a little bit
okay,
because it's all related. And we're not preaching hate. We're not preaching any kind
Oh
of
no.
anti
No, not at all.
people of Europe. I want to say that, but see, Whoopi Goldberg's comment about Jews was right on target. It's scientific. You know what?
Yeah.
That's why I've written posts where I say we should stop saying human, or we should stop saying the white race, the black race, or there's only one race of human beings, right? We're all
The
Homo
human
sapiens.
race.
One, right? Human race. That's it. And that term, white and black, those terms were created by whites to exploit people, including Hitler, and of course over here in America when you have chattel slavery. So
Mm-hmm.
my point is that having said that, obviously we have something. Oh, and it didn't come from our being oppressed. I've heard people say it, try to say, well, if y'all weren't oppressed, you wouldn't. You know what? Look, keep in mind the basis of our being able to do what we call melisma, take one syllable or one word and stretch it over many beats. That's a rhythmic function. That's our polyrhythms. I would suggest are one of the keys, if not the key, to our soulfulness. Right? Polyrhythms, baby. Not just one rhythm. Da da. I mean, think about it. If you're singing a song, then there's no rhythm in there, polyrhythmic, or you're singing it 1, 2, 3, 4. It ain't gonna be soulful. I don't care how good your voice is. You start singing like got to, that opens up the feeling. And I'm saying that we brought those polyrhythms here to America with the drums, but they couldn't play the memory of the.
okay, that very last part dropped out. So can you say that very last part again?
I was saying that we brought the rhythms with us. We didn't have the drums, right? But we brought the rhythms here in our cultural memory. We had the rhythms. For an example, I have been playing. I used to play beat the ham bone, right? I knew how to beat the ham bone before I actually beat the ham bone. Other guys were struggling, trying to figure out how to do it. And I never practiced doing it. I just started doing it. Because I could hear that type of, that kind of stuff, and I could hear it. And so my point is, I didn't go to class for that. Oh, and incidentally, remember this: there are no classes for talent.
You got that right.
Right. We all agree on that.
Some
We
things
all,
like
we
on the
all agree.
football things, you just can't coach. It comes
That's
naturally.
right. That's
Yeah.
And well, I'm glad you got here and got a chance to talk to us and everything. So, you think I've asked people this? And a lot of people think that things will open up a little bit more, let's say by this, like early or late spring around here as far as performing. Is there any places that you might have on the burner that you may, be performing at so we can go ahead and get it out there?
Well, I tell you what, I do have one thing in mind, but I'm gonna have to tell you that on the phone.
Okay. Okay.
No, it's gonna be at my house. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, yeah, I understand. Yeah.
I got the piano now, and I want you to
Well,
come with me, or whatever. But I'm just saying, I give you a call on the phone, and Vaughn will be invited too.
yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Okay, cool. All right. Is there any? We're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Is there any address or social media platform that people can get to follow you or to contact you and try to get your music or anything? Can you give them?
I have a website. That's being created now. It should be up within the month, and I'm also on Facebook, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I want to say one thing too. I'm honored to have had this opportunity. Thanks for inviting me. I didn't say that initially. My apologies, but thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem. All right, Vaughn, just let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me at jazzbeatsradio.com. That is the webpage for the radio station, and it's got a full bio on me on that on my favorite jazz station. And I want to thank them for giving me an opportunity to be able to play the music that I want to play and stretch it back to the early to mid 50s and beyond, and where I'm taking it. And so Mr. Ojeda Penn, let me tell you, I'm going to be honest with you, man. You were one of the first musicians I heard about when I moved to Atlanta. They said, you need to go see Mr. Penn. And I did enjoy your performances at the Atlanta Free Jazz Festivals when they had them at, I would get out there and you would be performing at night until like 11, 12 o'clock at night sometimes. And I was out there just enjoying what I heard. And man, you are truly a legend in this city. Believe that.
Well, yes, what y'all say. I can't. I accept it. I'm thankful, but I don't know how to play this piano, man. I really am. Really am. There was something else. I do believe though that the Atlanta Jazz Festival, looking over the older guys like me and Joe Jennings and some other people, by not having us on the Jazz Festival every year. Why not? We are a local resource. Why aren't we on the Jazz Festival every year?
There you
We
go.
pay enough dues for that. I mean, you have
Absolutely.
whoever else you want to have, but that to me is a major absence. I'm sorry. You know what? It's not like we're old men trying to play. We still can play.
Right.
See, I could see if we were dragging our feet and barely could. But we're not playing with energy. No, that's not.
Yeah. I mean,
I want to put that further in.
But even if you think about it, when Freddie Cole was here, his times were very sparse at the Jazz Festival. Which he himself was like, the city wants to claim him, but it's almost like they don't respect him. Same as yourself, same as Joe, same as me as far as that goes. They just don't respect us that way. I don't understand it, but yet when the names come up, they want to claim it. So it's something about that.
Right.
Yeah, it's something about that. We ain't got to get into that. That's a whole different discussion.
There's an old saying that you can't. The prophet is not. What's the saying about prophet is not a prophet in his own country or something like that.
Right.
Yeah. Right. I mean, you can understand it, but you can but you can get up with me at Edwin Williams is who I am. And you can get me at yesjazzmatters.org. And make sure when you go there to click on the donate page and donate to us. Like I said, we are 501c3. And also you can learn all about what Jazz Matters does. And you can learn about me and you can go in there and there's quite a few things we got coming up. So we want to go ahead and get everybody on board here this year because I know it's going to open up. We're going to be trying some new things also. And we're going to hope to get Ojeda involved in some of these things also, which I know I'm going to do. know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do that. You know, that's not a problem.
When I'm old school, man, I would love to give you $100. You know, no, hand to hand. You know?
Hey, don't even worry. Don't even worry about that. The thing is, we just got to get it happening.
No,
we got to have something.
Yeah,
people have been locked down for 2 years, right? We've been locked down for 2 years. We got to get them back out there, but we also got to get them back out there to listening to what they know in their hearts that they really want to hear. You know what I'm saying? Because people that listen to jazz, they know what they want to hear. You know,
right?
We got to recapture that audience before it's too late. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. But thanks, man, for showing up. And like I said, we'll be in touch with each other anyway. And I want to hear that new piano. You know, whenever you get it, whenever you get it broke in. You know.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks,
so,
man. Vaughn.
Yes, sir.
I'm most appreciative of your presence, really.
Well, thank you, brother. I truly adore your presence. And we'll look. This is what is it? The line from Casablanca. This is the start of a beautiful relationship. It's gonna happen.
Right.
Okay, then.
You know, when that movie first came out, they didn't expect it to be a hit. But go on.
No,
I know. I know.
That's the way it is with everything. You know, they didn't expect it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So okay, but we're gonna expect the unexpected. So we'll holler at you again, Ojeda. We'll get back in get a little more time and everything. And it's been nice, man.
I'll go down and see my other woman. I told my wife I have another woman downstairs.
Oh man, you letting all your business out over here. We better hurry up and
It's my piano.
Okay then. All right, peace, bro.
All right.
All right.
Peace.
All right.